Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thank you for tuning into this video. Is silver really the poor man's gold? Everyone tries to downplay silver, calling it a waste of money, a bad investment, it's bogus, but I couldn't disagree more. I actually think silver is the only investment that isn't a waste of money. So before we jump into this topic, I want to share something. You see these beautiful shirts in front of you? If you want to look fashionable, expressing your love for gold and silver and to look no further, link in the description. So with that said, like this video, smash the subscribe button. I make daily videos. So I think we're ready to dive into today's discussion. Gold and silver both go against the grain. They're a direct threat to the US dollar because they have intrinsic value and you are in complete control of your wealth. So today I'm going to dissect this topic, exposing every investment and why silver is smarter, safer, and more profitable, even comparing it to gold. So let's start there. Gold has its unique advantages beyond other investments because it's intrinsical. Gold has intrinsic value, which nothing else does besides silver, right? But even gold is overpriced compared to silver. Silver's underpriced, gold is overpriced. So you want to invest into the thing that has more potential, and that by far is silver. The gold to silver ratio still sitting above 70 to 1 shows that silver is the better investment. There's more chance of silver appreciating to a higher percentage than gold. Gold already appreciated. It already blew up. Silver hasn't really done that yet. It's at its all-time highs ever. Silver isn't even half of its all-time high. It's around half of that. Silver's also more volatile, meaning it hits higher highs and lower lows. It's like a more exaggerated gold. I call it gold on steroids. If gold's going to rise 10, 15%, silver's going to rise 25, 30%. But it works the same way on the negative side as well. If gold's going to drop 10, 15%, silver's going to drop 25, 30%. So there's more opportunity, but there's also more risk. But at the end of the day, precious metals, it's a win-win situation. You're transferring your money into something that's also money, right? When you buy a new pair of shoes or something, those shoes are going to be gone. They're not going to last forever. There's no value within that. But gold and silver, it's kind of like just transferring your money into fiat or from fiat into precious metals. So, anyways, gold definitely has its unique advantages. It's a great way to store a large amount of value in a small area. You can fit $100,000 of gold in a shoebox. You cannot do that with silver. So if you are a large time investor and you need convenient storage, then gold might be a better investment for you. But besides that, there's nothing else that silver doesn't have that gold can do. Silver is the most highly conductive metal for thermal conductivity. Gold isn't. Silver is used more in technology. Gold is used more for coins, jewelry, necklaces. Silver does everything gold does, but except better. But it's also way cheaper. It's more affordable. So looking at that, why would you invest into something like gold? You can buy a lot more silver for a lot cheaper. And looking at silver's potential, its future, it just makes a lot more sense. Usually, gold attracts the new investors into the world of precious metals, and silver is what keeps them staying around. It's the mascot, right? They find gold because it's gold, right? I wanna buy gold. I wanna own gold. Then they get into the market and realize, hey, there's a cheaper, smarter alternative. It's more affordable. Let's start stacking silver. So, and that's not a bad thing, right? That's not a bad thing. Whatever gets you into precious metals, it doesn't matter what got you in, as long as you're stacking, you're on the right track. So gold has, I've just talked about, I went over why gold isn't as profitable, isn't as beneficial as silver. So let's jump into some other things. Let's talk about stock markets. So stocks have potential. There's opportunity. There's profits to be made. But it's like switching seats on the Titanic. If the dollar fails, stock markets fail. Stock markets are pegged to the dollar, and if the dollar is corrupt and the dollar is crashing, then stock markets will too. The whole point of investing into precious metals is transferring your wealth into something that holds its value. Remember I said earlier, you're going against the grain because gold and silver is a threat to the US dollar? Well, stock markets aren't. So the government, the central banks, they're going to push stocks on you. They're going to call gold and silver a bad investment, a scam, but they're going to tell you that stocks are the best way to go because they want you stuck, trapped into things that is surrounded, that is pegged to the dollar. They're going to push loans on you. They're going to push college tuition. They're going to push anything that keeps you involved with fiat currency because they can control you by that. The larger in debt you are, the more control they have over you. You're a slave to the system if you're in debt. So you want to get out of that by precious metals. You're in complete control of your wealth. Nobody can take your gold and silver from you. Nobody can touch it. Nobody can do anything to it. And that's what scares them. So stocks can be profitable. I buy a little bit into Tesla, Amazon. It's interesting from from a more economical point of view. I like learning about these different companies. It's very innovative, especially with Amazon and Tesla, taking things to a whole new level. But there's also profits. But what I would do is use those profits to then reinvest into precious metals, right? That's the smartest thing to do because at the end of the day, those stocks aren't really what you're investing for. You got to see the bigger picture. If you do see the bigger picture, you'll realize one of two things. Stocks won't last forever, but also silver's true value is honestly unknown. Anytime we're talking about silver's price, it's pegged to a certain time in history. We're looking at silver's price from that point in history. But what if I told you that the dollar won't always exist? What will silver's price be then when there's nothing to price the silver? The 1 ounce of silver inside of it, which its true value is, will be what its price is. But that is unknown because it's never happened. That's where we can talk about some major changes, some major value. That's looking at things more realistically from a futuristic perspective because the dollar's lost 98% of its purchasing power and it's not going to get any better anytime soon. It's only going to get worse. So on that note, I want to jump into the next type of investment, which is Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. You guys may know I'm very familiar with Bitcoin. I made a lot of money with Bitcoin, but that doesn't mean that I think it's a smart investment. Once upon a time, yeah, Bitcoin was perfect, right? I loved it. I talked about it a lot on my channel, influenced, encouraged a lot of you to buy Bitcoin, but that time is over. Far, far over. I don't know what happened. Well, I do know what happened, but Bitcoin had its chance and it failed, in my opinion. When I'm looking at a new monetary system, I'm looking at something digital, decentralized, where there's no bank in control. There's no bank of Bitcoin. There's no Bitcoin police, right? But it just got too complicated where it didn't have to. There's way too many altcoins. There's thousands of altcoins with the stupidest purposes, from video games to just stupid stuff, right? And it just oversaturated the market and it became too crazy. If they would have just made Bitcoin, maybe Ethereum and Litecoin with few exceptions, it would have been our new currency. But that's not the case, right? There's so many different types of altcoins. There's only 21 million Bitcoin that will ever be created. It's like everyone's speaking the same language on a monetary platform, right? It's like everyone speaking the same language globally, but in money form. There is no Bitcoin China. There is no Bitcoin USA. It's all just Bitcoin. So I can trade with China. China can trade with me. regardless of the language barrier, regardless, there is no dollar barrier. There, we're all both using, all countries are using the same unit, which is very valuable. But like I said, there's a lot that it failed from. There's a lot that needed to change. But like I said, a new monetary currency has to be digital. There is one that is controlled by the banks that also is a cryptocurrency. So it's a centralized currency, or it's a centralized, let's call it a centralized unit that also is decentralized. That's kind of coincidental. That's kind of going backwards, but it does make sense to some extent. Ripple is a cryptocurrency that's controlled by the banks. The central banks own a decentralized currency. And if there was to be a new monetary system, I would put my money that Ripple would be that coin, because banks could still control it, but it could still reap the rewards and reap the benefits that, that other coins couldn't. So anyways, I don't want to talk too technical. I don't want to dive too deep into cryptocurrency, but basically, if the internet turns off, if the power crashes, if anything happens, you're screwed. You want to be in complete control of your wealth. You don't want to have to depend on having a laptop around with, with your wallet, your hot wallet or your cold wallet. You don't want to have to depend on any of that. It just doesn't seem logical. What if there's a power failure? What if you lose your laptop? All your money is dependent on that. So yes, we're advancing technologically, but gold and silver makes more sense from you're in control of your wealth aspect. Like we say, if you can't hold it, you don't own it. Well, Bitcoin literally isn't holdable. It's all dependent upon technology, which it could be beneficial for that, but that could also be its biggest downfall. So, anyways, those are some of the things those are some of the investments that could that could contend silver, but just don't. Simply don't. Silver's a much safer, smarter investment, and like I said in the beginning of the video, people call silver a waste of money. Well, I think all these other things are more of a waste of money than silver is. Bitcoin, you could have lost a lot of money. It's dangerous, it's confusing, it's just in rough draft stage, right? Stock markets, the market right now is crazy, especially knowing that your money is going to collapse someday. If you keep it in that dollar form, it's just not worth it. Use that profit to invest into gold and silver. Even gold, it's just not as profitable. There's not as much potential and opportunity than there is with silver. So everything just means, or makes sense to me, that silver is more profitable, more opportunistic, and definitely the better investment. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you now see why silver isn't a waste of money, but everything else is. Thank you for tuning into this video. Make sure to smash that like button. Check out my merch store, link in the description. If you thought this video was educational, informational, or at least just entertaining, smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new. I post daily videos. This was Silver Slayer. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.